Shit.
All right. Thanks for joining us again. Sorry we took a week off. I took the family on a little vacation. It was Memorial Day weekend. Um, Here with my boy Kyle, real estate in different states. What you got, Kyle? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. I missed you. I was jealous. I wish I could just travel the world for fun and not have to worry about working and stuff. Must be nice.
I will send you many of pictures of me working while on vacation, but that's the thing, right? That's why we do what we do, correct? Is to be
Hey,
able to take our family on vacations and go on vacations for fifth year anniversaries and take our kids to ride horses and things like that. But let's get into it, man. This week I want to bring our viewers something fun, and I want to bring them a lot of knowledge on how to really make some good money in real estate. So let's talk about flipping houses this week. What you say?
hey, that's what I do. I love it. Let's
I
go.
know. That's why I think it's a good topic. So I'm gonna let you take charge and kind of tell me. Well, I know we've gone over how you briefly got into flipping houses, but let's really dig into it this week of numbers and how to get money for it, and I mean what to do, what to look for, mistakes you've made, what you've seen that really works, things like that. That work?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Perfect. I'm gonna let you take the lead here, bud.
All right, cool. Well, I guess, man. So I guess I'll start on my very first flip I ever did, ever. Kind of, I found it from a good friend that I met from the real estate investment kind of group or network in the town I'm in Clarksville. Super good guy, super cool. He got into wholesaling back then, and he had a deal, and he sent it to me. He said, "Hey, you want to buy this house?" And dude, it was like, can't remember the exact price, but it was in the 40s. It was like 40 something, which is insane because
That is, I mean,
that
that's
doesn't exist now. Like if you found that today, you're like, oh my gosh, this is a home run.
I can
I
barely
should
buy
have kept
I
it. I
can
should
barely
have
buy a
kept
used truck for 40 grand.
No, I messed up. Like big regret. I should have kept that house for sure. I would have been sitting fat right now, but it was my first flip, so
You mean
I think I
appreciation wise, you think it's probably
oh
doubles
dude,
what you sold
it's worth like I think I sold it for 95, I think. It's worth 200
it?
almost.
Oh,
Yeah, it's worth I messed up. I messed up. Wait till the end of it. I messed up big
there's so
time.
many expensive lessons to be learned in real estate. It's insane how
Oh
many
yeah, the money's in the buy and hold. The
thousands.
money's
Yeah,
not in flipping, it's in the buy and hold for sure,
yeah.
100%. You can talk about that too later, like, and because I'm not holding any properties right now. That's my goal is to hold it, um, which I can get into that later too, why I'm not holding right now. But I can't wait to bring on people who are holding because then they can talk about like that's how you exponentially increase your net worth is by holding real estate, not by flipping. But you want to talk about flipping, so that's what we're going to talk about. So
We got a lot. We have a lot of weeks to cover a lot of
yeah.
more stuff, so we're good, man.
Yeah. But my first flip, so I bought it from this guy, like I said, a good friend that I met in the real estate investment group, and I bought it. I think I actually bought it for
So
37,000.
I'm just doing some numbers here. He's a wholesaler, so he's trying to make at least
He made 9 grand on the deal.
So
Nine, nine.
he got a house for
He
25 grand,
yeah, nine. Well, no,
29,
I
30,
bought for 37, so you got it for
28.
28. Yeah.
Wow. He got a house for 20. How big was it? What square
It
footage?
was small. It was a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I mean, I think it was like 800 square
But
feet,
still 28 grand,
but it was in downtown Clarksville, like
which
well
is
near downtown.
which is
It's like booming now. So
good. Okay, okay.
back then, though, we didn't know that. Like, we didn't know there was like a bunch of stuff happening downtown that is here
What
now.
was this? Two years ago? Three?
No, this was like 4 years ago.
Four? Okay.
What? No, I don't even know. 4 or 5. I don't know. I don't
Oh
remember.
wow,
It
okay.
was a while ago. But that was my first one, and so at before that, I had talked to planners, or I don't want to say the bank. I talked to a bank, um, about trying to flip a house, and they had like pre-approved me to do it and stuff like that. So, and he knew that I had been wanting to buy a house to flip. So he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I got this house." I think originally he was like asking like 42 for it or something. And I went to see it, dude, and it was like complete dump. Like it was bad. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing?" I was scared. I was like, "Man, whatever." So I agreed at the price he had it for. We went to the put it under contract, went to the bank. Everything's good, whatever. And then I don't know. So I can't remember. Something happened. I was like, I think I had somebody go like look at it. I got a contractor because at the time I didn't know anything about flipping houses. I hired like a guy to go do the whole project for me to flip it for me, and he went
Okay.
to look at it. And then after I got his number, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't freaking flip this house. Like I'm not gonna make nothing." So I told the guy that I bought it, that I was buying it from. I was like, "Dude, I was like, I'm out. I can't buy the house." I was like, "Whatever." And I'd put down like $500 earnest money, which I was gonna lose. And I was like, "Whatever, I'm gonna lose it." And then I was like, "Whatever, it's all good." And then he came back and was like, "Well, what could you buy it for?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know, like 37." And he's like, "Okay, 37's good." So then I got it cheaper. I was like surprised. I was like, "Okay, cool." So we got it for 30. I think it was 37. I don't quote me on the numbers. It was a while ago. It might have been a couple grand less or more. I don't remember. But so I got the house, closed on it, and it was all downhill from there, or uphill.
Going down here.
It was up, yeah, uphill for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first 2 weeks were awesome because the contractor I had was like on it. They did the demo, and this is what you don't people who don't flip houses or your first one, everything goes great the first week. They go do the demo or you go do the demo, and it's like you're flying. You're like knocking down walls, drywall's flying out, walls are gone, things
Dude,
look
I know
open.
people can't see my face right now, but that is so funny. I'm looking at Diana because our last house, exact same story, man. We got the contractor and they came in there gung ho the next day, knocking down walls. The whole garage the next day was full of all the debris and everything. And we're like, man, this is great. We're gonna be in by March, 6 week project. It's gonna be amazing, babe. We're gonna be in before we get married. The house gonna be ready before we get married. This is gonna be awesome. Long story short, 6 weeks turned into 6 months. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't, I
and
don't know where your story's
exactly.
going.
No, and it's exactly that. Like you're there, and like now I know, but it's like brand new. I'm like looking at the contractor. He's like, I walk in the house and it looks awesome. Everything's gone. There's down to studs, walls are gone. Like I'm like, heck yeah, this looks awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna be done in 2.5 weeks." And I'm like, "Heck yeah, you are. Let's go." You know, let's do the next one. But and then stuff happened. Um, he was not done in 2.5 weeks. And I think it's over promising, under delivering, and it's something I've kind of held on to as I'm moving into contracting too. But it's like you just got to have realistic expectations also. But like it just was one thing after the other. He just wasn't there. I would drive by. It was my only project I had going. It was my baby, my first flip. I would drive by that thing every day. I would drive by it. I'd be like, I'm gonna give him till like 10 o'clock. I'd drive by at 10, nobody would be there. I'd be like, okay. Oh, I guess I'll drive by at like 1. Nobody would be there. I'd call him, wouldn't answer. I'm like, seriously. And it'd be like that for like 2 weeks. And then he would finally answer. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, man," like some bull crap excuse of whatever. And then
Tell
he
me
would
you
finally
needed
be
more money.
there. Like yeah, he'd be like, "Oh yeah," no. Or it'd be something stupid. It'd
It,
always be an excuse
his
of why they
contract,
weren't
dude.
there. And it'd be more money, or he got to do this or that, or oh man, I bid the job too low, or whatever. But it took maybe like 4 months to get it done, and it was like it shouldn't have taken that long. There wasn't. It was a 800 square foot house. There's not that much to do,
Yeah. Let me tell you the
Uh,
worst excuse that John, our previous contractor, had was that his grandson died at birth, so he had to go back to Louisiana. Is this right, D? I'm telling the story. He got a picture from the internet of a dead baby and showed it to us. He showed it to all the people that he was working on their house. Someone found it on the internet. It's like this is a picture from the internet. This is right. Yes. Yeah, he got a picture from the internet of a dead baby and showed all of his clients that he had to go back to Louisiana to take care of his son or daughter or something, whoever it was, because they just had a stillborn baby.
Wow,
So
that's
that
insane.
was
That's messed up. My guy wasn't. I'm still friends with my guy today. I mean, he wasn't a like crooked dude. It was
this
just like
guy's yeah,
he just didn't know how to schedule his stuff properly, or
yeah.
I don't really know what his deal. He's a good guy though. I'm not over here to talk crap about him, but yeah, I mean the first experience that I mean it took super long. I was, but I learned a lot, so it was good, and I made nowhere near what I wanted to make. I sold the house for 95,000. I think I already said that. And I think I made near almost 20 grand on it, which was after you pay, capital gains and all that, and whole like you account for your whole time and effort and everything. You're like, it took you 5 or 6 months. Like, man, I didn't make nothing. Like 20 grand ain't nothing. It takes you that long to make it. Like it's not. Um, but yeah, but it was good. It was a good. At least I made money on the first one. I learned a lot. I could say I made something, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't a good experience, and I should have kept it. If I would have kept it, I mean, I would have. I'd be sitting good now. I regret not keeping it for sure.
Hmm.
What
So
about you? Like you flipped a house one time, right?
two
A few
times, yeah. But what what knowledge did you learn from that first one?
Oh man, I learned so much. I learned to know my numbers better for one. I learned to keep my contractors in check. Like I'm not, I mean, and I go back and forth on this too because now I am a contractor and I see both sides of it. But like writing your contractor a fat check right off the bat, you gotta think about that before you do that. You gotta get some references, talk to who has worked with him before, talk to who knows him. Like, hey, has he ever done something for you? How'd it go for you? Like, like before you just give somebody, half the money up front or something like that. Um, I mean, I learned expectations. I learned so much. Like, it's just, I don't know. I guess you just have to go try it out, and then it's hard to put in words what you can actually learn from just doing it because just there's so much you learn that you can't even really say. It's just hard, man. I don't know.
Is there any mistakes structural wise that you have not done, like put too much effort into something that didn't bring enough return or anything like that?
Yeah, not on that one, but yeah, uh, I have done some stuff, probably spent some money I wish I didn't spend in
Yeah,
areas. Um, and it's hard too because I like to.
design it nicely and
Yeah, but it's
because
hard to say if that money is not well spent because I have spent a lot of money. In the kitchen, I spent so much money. It's ridiculous. My thing is countertops. I love nice countertops.
yeah,
I'm a sucker. I'll walk in there with my budget and I'll see them and be like, no, I'm putting these bad
and
boys
they're
in.
expensive, man. You're gonna spend 5 to 7 for nice quartz.
Oh yeah, they're expensive, and then but it's hard to say because like I'll say I spent too much, but then the house was selling a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, well, did I
Which
spend
is
too much
important
or was that
because
an investment? Because
yeah,
when the
especially if
market
you're paying
shifted,
interest.
it's still selling in a day. I think there's something to be said for that, like the design and stuff like that. So the stuff you pick does come into play.
Yeah, and I like what you do. You add a little bit extra that you're not gonna get from a new build or anything else. Like your, I love the walls that you put in, all the accent walls, or like your one um I guess they're called accent walls, right? What's it called when you put a molding in a wall? Is that just an accent wall as well?
Yeah, accent wall, feature wall, anything you want to call it. And
Okay.
that's cheap. That's not expensive. That's so
Yeah, yeah. They're just what, one by ones or something that you
you can do whatever. There's one by twos, one by threes,
use.
one by
Yeah,
fours,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I like that. That's pretty cool. But
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm gonna start doing on my new construction stuff is like trying to incorporate some stuff I'm doing in my flips that I think helps them stand apart from others. I want to bring that over to the new construction and offer it as a spec. Like, hey, this is our standard house that we sell. It's not an upgrade. You don't have to pay extra to get this. You get to pick between four different accent walls you want, but it's included in the price. Something cool like that. Like,
that's
hey,
a very good
you
idea
get
because
this super
yeah,
cool house, and even on the outside, you get these super cool shutters. You get these super cool like corbels above the garage with something like to stand out like that other people aren't doing, something. I don't know, just something cool that I just because I and the only reason I'm saying that is because I do see a return on the flips I'm doing. People are like they like it and they buy it fast. I'm like, if I bring that over to new construction, maybe it'll play out the same way.
yeah. No, I see that as a very good idea because the realtor in me that's been to a lot of new builds, you go into the spec home and the spec home's 600 grand. They're like, yeah, this is our base model, 400 grand, but you get carpet on the stairs and you don't get the metal railing and all that costs extra. So I like
Oh
that.
yeah, dude, that's a good point. Because we went, Renee and I were thinking about moving. I don't know, a few weeks, like I don't know, no, a couple of months ago to
Yeah, I
Virginia.
remember that. Yeah.
We were going into these new construction homes, and I was like, man, this is awesome. And like the base plan would be like 600, but what we
Mhm.
were looking at was like 900. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
when you look at the 600, you're like, who would want to buy that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
I know. I'll take the 600, put my own 50 grand into it, and make it the 900.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I kind of want to meet them in the middle. But look, I'm not going to give you the world, but you're going to get some cool stuff
Yeah.
for your money. Like I'm not because the reality is the cool stuff they're doing, a lot of it doesn't cost a lot of money. If
Yeah.
you upgrade your countertops, that's expensive. If you upgrade your cabinets, that can be expensive. If you go from, laminate to hardwood floors, that's expensive. But to like do the stuff that looks cool but isn't expensive, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that. That's what I want to do. Just give people something different.
But
Yeah.
let's get back to flipping. Let's give the people what they want.
I'm waiting on you. Tell us about your first flip, Blake.
Okay, so my first flip, I learned uh so much. It took almost a year from purchase to sell. It took 10 months.
Mm.
And we learned so much. The penny pinching that we tried to do to save, such as not getting a dumpster, doing a lot of the work ourselves. I
No
know. That's what I'm
dumpster.
saying. I learned a lot. um,
Oh
because
my gosh.
we did too much that didn't bring it back enough return. Um, we should have kept the kitchen layout. We we took out the kitchen and added two beams. Um, our contractor extremely crazy slow on what he did personally, which wasn't much, and we just tried to do too much work ourselves. Um, and we added a whole bathroom, took out a little bit of the garage. There was an extra space in the garage for extra storage. We tried to add another bathroom because it was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. We wanted to make it a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And adding that extra bathroom, doing all the work ourselves, the plumbing, all of it, tile work, all of it, probably took 2 months.
Uh,
Just bad investment. I don't think it brought any more money because of the location. Um, and it was just small as well. And it just took too much time, right? You're paying insurance, you're paying taxes, you're paying all this stuff. You're paying interest on the loan. I mean, our interest rate was high. So I think that definitely lost us money. Um, so on our first flip, we learned so much. We took so long that COVID hit and the market just bottomed out, right? So if we would have sold it probably 3 or 4 months earlier, we probably could have got another 10 grand. But
Mm-hmm.
we took so long that obviously we couldn't predict COVID. But yeah, the market right when COVID hit, I don't remember, most people don't remember, but it kind of went down for a couple months. People were just so scared. They couldn't sell cars, they couldn't sell houses. People just didn't know what was going on. We couldn't even do like open houses.
Yeah.
People were scared to do showings. Um, Everything just took way, way too long. And what I learned on that first flip more than anything is that time is money. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want to get in, you want to get out as quick as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our,
Well, going off that time is money. I mean, would you ever swing the hammer again or do it yourself on a
no.
flip?
When I
Yeah.
say we, I mean my brother.
Yeah,
We
but
were in it together.
still no good.
Brandon's
That's
good.
and it's hard to.
Brandon's a much better whatever. He's a much better contractor than I am, but
Oh yeah, I agree.
it took so yeah. Everyone will agree with that. But it just took too long. But when you have a job and then you're coming over there for 2 hours a night, so you're putting in maybe 8 hours a week. It just wasn't working.
Doing it yourself is definitely not the way to go because number one, you could be making money doing something else other than that.
Totally
And
agree.
if you hire good, here's the thing you have to learn with contracting or flipping or anything you're doing. You have to learn to hire good subcontractors to
Well,
do
this
the
is when I was still working at the credit union, so I was working my 9 to 5 still then
yeah.
as well. So
And you have to learn how to manage these people too.
yeah,
Can't just because they'll walk all over you. As we both have learned, they will tell you one thing and do the complete opposite. And they will tell everybody that they're working for the same thing. I will be there tomorrow.
yeah.
And they will be there tomorrow, but they will only be there for 1 hour.
Oh no, that was
They
one
will
thing.
not do any work.
The guy that we used, we trusted because he had done a lot of work for my parents for decades, literally decades. You probably met him. He was the guy that installed the zip line at my parents' house. I mean, he's done a lot of work at my parents' house, so we trusted him. But he tried to way, way, way overcharge us. I think he was trying to charge us like $16,000, and it was minimal work. Like he put in the kitchen cabinets, kitchen countertop. What else did you say you did, Dinah? I mean, that it wasn't much, and I was like, "There's no way you spent." He was trying to say he worked like 100 and something hours, and I was like, "Dude, there's no way to install a kitchen. It takes you, uh, 3 full working weeks."
Yeah, well, I
Um,
think number one thing, a contract and a scope of work is what you need.
and we just trusted him, so we didn't get a bid up front. We were just like, just go at it.
That don't
And
yeah,
that was
I
a
would recommend
huge,
nobody ever do that, no matter what. No
please,
matter
yes,
if
no
you
one ever
know
do
them
that.
or
Get
not.
your bid up front. And when they want, so what I've also learned is I will go and purchase the material myself because contractors will say, hey, give
Yes.
us 50% up front because we got to go buy the materials. Say, no, I'm going to go buy the materials. And after I see y'all working for however long the work is, about halfway through the work, then you can get maybe 50%. And then,
Yeah. And that's a good point, Blake, and about the materials because I mean, I'm a contractor now too, and contractors get a discount on materials. So whenever the contractor gives you the quote, a lot of times they'll have built into the quote their margin, and
yeah,
part of the margin will be like, oh, well, they can get the material, 10, 15% less than you can. So they'll account for that in their profit. So then their upcharge to you will only be, 15, 20%, but really they're making
money.
total
Yeah.
30, 35%. But then if you as a, consumer, like, no, I want to buy my own material, then you cut that off,
Hmm.
which isn't it's not really a big benefit for you, like the consumer, because you're paying cost for material versus, well, I guess you're paying the same thing,
Well,
but
what I
it's
did, and you may have done the same thing, but I went to Lowe's. I signed up as the business customer. It gives you a
like,
10% discount minimum. Sometimes they'll give you even more.
yeah,
Just say that you flip houses and go over to the business center,
yeah,
and they'll deliver your material for, I want to say $39 when it's usually 79. Um, and also you get a minimum 10%. Sometimes, like the first time I signed up, I went and bought a whole bunch of wood, like $3,000 worth of wood. The guy went up and called corporate, and it was like I think it was like a 16.3% discount. So I mean, it was a pretty good
they
percentage.
will not do that now on lumber.
And then they also delivered it. I think, as I said, I think the normal charge is $80 for delivery, and they do it for, if you're a business customer, for $40 or something. So it also saves you on the delivery, so you don't have to haul all that material over to
Yeah.
your house.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like if you are flipping houses, if you go to Lowe's, sign up for that account and get your own material and get the discount yourself, and then you're not getting upcharged
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lessons. One thing, time is money, as we talked about. I think that's honestly, I think that's the hugest thing. Get in and get out. Do not.
Yeah. We all want that for sure. Well, speaking of money, Blake, so I mean, how'd you get the money? And where, I mean, for your first flip, how'd you fund it?
I took out a personal loan. It wasn't a big house. It was 80 grand. 80? Less than 80? I think it was 80 grand. And we just took out a big personal loan, and that's why I was paying such high interest rate. But yeah, me and my brother both of us took out a loan. And we went and did it. And I mean, I had some stocks that I also used as collateral. We took out a loan. He had some stocks that he used as collateral, and we took it out from the credit union, which I worked at. So they trusted me obviously a little bit more. So they're probably a little bit more lenient with me than a normal person. But yeah, we just took out a big personal loan, and I think the rate was like 8.5%. So that's another thing why time is money, right? Because we were paying, I think we paid,
What year was that? Eight.
um, I was still working there. It was before Scarlett was born, so it was 2019.
You got a high rate, Murph.
As I said, it was a personal loan. Yeah. So,
Nice.
I forgot what we ended up paying in interest. I think it was like $7,000 or $8,000 in interest alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's similar for me. First one I got was a bank loan. Um, but I did,
We didn't use the house as collateral, so that's why the interest rate was so high. We pretty
yeah,
much bought it as cash. So it was a large personal loan.
yeah. Well, I didn't use my house as collateral either on the first one. It was just a regular construction loan with a bank, and they charged me, man, I can't remember the terms, but it was like they'll fund 80% of the after repair value plus 80% of the after repair value max, but that had to be what I was buying it for plus the repairs.
So
Anything more, I
you
have to
found a
bring.
good local bank to do that out, right? Not a
Yeah,
big,
yeah. No, no. If you want to go flip houses in your local area, you need to go to your local. You need to go to a local bank
or credit union.
or whatever. Yeah, any bank, credit union, whatever in your town, and go tell them what you want to do. Like, hey, I want to flip houses. This is my. You need to have a. This is a commercial loan, so you need to have like a business set up. You need to have a business account, LLC, everything, all that stuff, and then they'll look at everything and then go from there. Um, but what you're going to run into though is they're going to want you to I mean, somebody has to back this business, right? It's brand new. It's a brand new business. So it's like somebody has to back it. So who's going to back it? It's going to be you, which means you have to have a job. Like it can't just be backed by, you know, Joe Schmo. It's like if Kyle Robbins makes a business and I have a job, or if I have a job and then I go make a business, well, the business has no money. The business is funded by me. So it's like they're expecting me to have money. So I'm a guarantee to the business. So I have to have 2 years of employment. So that's one thing you're going to run into before you go flip is having that employment, which you could probably speak to, Blake, as being a lender of what kind of, hurdles you're going to have to, go over to get to being able to borrow money to flip houses.
On that aspect, I mean, I did work at the credit union. I worked right across from the commercial side or the business side, and you are absolutely correct. I saw so many people come in there with no job, and they just wanted, $200,000 for this random startup. But the people who had a job, let's just use Exxon as an example because I worked at Exxon Credit Union. But let's say you worked at Exxon, you're like, oh yeah, I work here, 20 years, I make $180,000 a year, I got 50,000 in savings, but yes, I want to flip this house. And in that case, typically they'd be good with it. You're going to quit your job? No, sir, I'm going to do this on the side and see how it goes. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to, we might type this 50,000 as collateral on your account, which helps. If not, you don't have the 50 grand, still having that, as you said, at least 2 years steady employment is definitely what is needed. And just being tied in with that bank, right? I mean, if you've been there for 3, 6, 10 years, that's definitely going to help out.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, a crazy story. Like whenever I first wanted to, like when I got out the military, all I wanted to do was flip houses. And I met this guy, and he was a super cool, big time investor, even bigger now, way, 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 way bigger. And I was like, man, all I want to do is flip houses. What do I do? Like, what do I do getting out the military? And he's like, you need to go get a job. I'm like, what? I don't want to get a job. This is gonna be my job. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like, no, you need to go get a W-2 job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. But that's what he told me. And I obviously I did not do that. But if you can go get it, if you have a high paying W-2 job right now, you can flip houses right now. Like you can borrow the money. It's so much easier. If you're W-2, as long as your debt to income is good, like you're not like doing a bunch of stuff you shouldn't be doing with your money. If
like
you're
living outside your means, like we talked about on podcast one
yeah,
and two. Yeah,
exactly. If you're there, you can go flip a house right now. All you got to do is find a good deal, which we can talk more about. I think we're running out of time. We were going to talk some other cool stuff, but I don't think we have time
we
tonight.
got 5 minutes. We'll,
Five
we'll bring it
minutes.
on next round.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to go into all that, but but there's so many other ways to get money too that man, I wish we could just we might we can try to squeeze some more in tonight, but what do we got? So,
How
man,
about
do we
this?
have time to talk about private money?
I know, man. There's so much to talk about. Help. Ah, man. I wish
Do
we
we
could keep going. This stupid
we
Zoom.
can touch on it a little bit. I mean, all right, well, all right, let's define private money first. Because we didn't even talk about hard money. All right, private money. Private money is a great way to invest in real estate. Great way.
Explain what that is. I mean, when I think private money, and I have people like this. It's grandpa's money. It's your uncle Jim's money, who he spent 30 years at Exxon, and now he has 2 million in Exxon stock. Maybe
Yeah,
he
that's
still
what it
borrowing
is.
his stock. As
That's
we were
what
talking
it
about
is.
earlier before we started recording, my guess, and I like stocks a lot, and I'll get into those later, but 2023, 2024, before the election, stock market's probably going to be pretty close to zero, maybe 1-2%
I
return,
mean,
maybe actually a negative return because who knows what's going to happen. But I don't see the stock market going over, and I'm sorry, Blake Heather, but I don't see the stock market going over 3%, before November of 2024. Just being honest. and I keep up with stocks a lot. So
Yeah. No, I mean that's what private money is. I mean, it's people that you know, your friends, your family, your acquaintances. It could be anybody. It could be people you don't know. It could be people who watch your podcast. I mean, it could be anything. It could be someone who says, "Hey, I have a lot of money. The stock market is not performing. Wherever I have my money is not doing what I want it to do. I want to give it to you to perform better for a better return." That's it. That's all private money is, you
and
know.
real quick, just because we're running out of time, what do you typically pay your lenders or private money holders
Well,
back
I've
with?
never I've never used private money. I've tried to. I've asked people that I know for private money, and
But if
they've
you were, what would be your pitch? 8% return
I would say 9%. And
on
I think that's
on a 3 to 4
solid.
month deal?
Oh, 6 months max. Because
Oh,
it's like a flip. I mean, 6 months would be the max. I mean, if
so
it was a buy and hold,
if you do that twice a year, you're offering someone 16, 18, maybe 20% return on their money in 1 year. Because if you do it twice, so
yeah, if
nine
you do it
percent,
twice,
9%.
yeah, for sure. And it could be even more because you can hold you can do so much cool stuff with private money, like syndication. You could buy apartment complexes with
Yeah,
private money and renovate the entire apartment. And then, you bought it for, these are random numbers, but you bought it for 400. Now it's worth 1.2 million. It's like, what's the return on that? It's like,
yeah.
it's going
Well,
to be
that,
crazy.
yeah.
But like people, it's hard to get private money because people have to believe in you and they have to know you. And it's hard because people aren't used to it. Um, and it's also a sales thing. Like for me, like it's just, for a while it was even hard to ask people for money because I'm like, I'm gonna go lose my own money before I'm willing to lose somebody else's. I
So if
want to
anybody is
100%
watching this that
where I'm
has a lot of money, Kyle will give you 8 to 10% return in the next 6 months.
Oh yeah, if anybody's watching this has a lot of money, hit me up. I will put it to good use, and I'll guarantee you 9%.
Oh boy, you hear that? 6 months, 9%.
6 months.
All right, it's on record.
It's on record. 6 months, 9% return.
Are we got a minute and 20 seconds. You want to hit on hard money or you want to save it?
No, we gotta save hard money. We don't
Okay.
have enough time.
Because yeah, I thought that was a 5 to 10 minute conversation.
We got a few different. Yeah, we didn't get anywhere near what I thought we would.
I know, dude, the 40 minutes goes so fast.
Yeah, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the private money pitch. If anybody has private money and you want to bet on somebody, you can bet on me and I'll give you 9%. I'll lose my money before I won't give you your
Be
9%.
honest with me. You have never made negative money or flopped, flip or flopped. You've never flopped on a deal,
No,
right?
I made $700 on a deal before though.
But you never flopped.
Never flopped. But that's another story. I was
But you've
partnered.
learned a lot since then.
I mean, yeah, I've
And
done
I remember that
the
story.
deals I've done
I
alone.
think
I've
you
made
bought it
even
right before the market just tanked.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And now the market's getting hot.
But if I had private money though, and I was about to only make 700, guess what? That person who gave me that private money, they would still make their 9.5, and I would probably lose. I would still lose, and they would win.
You heard it
That's
here.
a
9%.
guaranteed 9%, not 9.5, 9%.
No, he said 9.5.
No,
Hold on to it.
9% guaranteed, even if I lose. Boom.